Welcome back, everybody, to 3 Point Lines, the all star edition of 3 Point Lines here on the Parlay. I'm your host, Luca Rosano, alongside my co host, Noor Zainab. And yeah, it's exactly that. We are going to be making our picks for NBA All Star Weekend. We are going to have some great events, and we're going to be looking at Saturday and Sunday. Before we get into that, I just want to tell the viewers how we stand with our picks going into the break. I had a very bad Thursday, so if anybody could use a break, it is me. I was 1 of 5, which dropped my winning percentage to
Damn.
54%.
Wow, 1 of 5? I went 3 of 5, so maybe
Yeah, you did
recheck
well.
that because we were like, I think we were agreeing on 4 of them. But no, that's where the Clippers came out for me, and they
Yeah.
actually beat the Rockets and covered the spread, so I'm happy for that. Thanks so much, Tyloo. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you that's the pick you got right. I remember you had laid the points and I was looking at it like, wow, really? And yeah, it came out and it
Wow,
won. So
really?
good call on that. All right, let's pick some winners for this weekend. If you are betting on the All Star weekend because there's nothing else to bet on in the NBA, you can listen to our picks. We're first going to start with the NBA Skills Challenge, which has a bit of a different format this year. And I actually really like it. Just to explain it, it's going to be a shooting, exercise, passing, a relay, and then the half court shot. And the teams are going to be like this. You're going to have Team Rooks, which is going to be comprised of Josh Giddey, Scotty Barnes, and Kate Cunningham. You're going to have Team Cavs. Of course, Cleveland's hosting the All Star game, so they're going to be the home team. They're going to have Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. And then finally, this is going to be the cool one. You have Team Antetokounmpos, the Giannis brothers, or Antetokounmpo brothers, I should say, are teaming up. So you got Giannis, Thanasis, I think that's how you say it, and Alex. So all those brothers are going to be coming together in this cool contest, this cool format. So who do you got winning between these three teams?
I just want to say, like, I want to know what the process was of going about picking these teams. It's so interesting to me. I get the Cavs because you have the Cavs as the host, and you've got the Giannis brothers, sorry, the Antetokounmpo brothers, and then you've also got the Rooks. And actually, I'm gonna go with the Rooks on this one. I think they're top 10 for a reason, guys. Like they were drafted top 10 for a reason. They were scouted all throughout their years for a reason. They had people showing up and they had general managers fighting over them for a reason. And a lot of them are leading their respected teams right now. If you look at Cade, he was entirely given the keys to his team. He can do whatever he wants there. On the other side, you've got Scotty Barnes and Mobley, who are pretty much in grooming to be given the keys eventually at a certain point. So when you look at just a breakdown that way, it makes sense to go with the Rooks just because they are completely multifaceted in those ways that they can cover all those skills and those challenges. But I think if you were to actually play all these teams, I might give the edge to the Cavs because
Yeah.
they're just a massive big team, right? And then plus you've got the home court advantage. How do you go wrong against that? What about you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to break this thing down. The Cavs should have the best chemistry because they play with each other all the time. But then at the same time, the Antetokounmpo should have chemistry because they're brothers. So Team Rooks are the favorites here, but they might actually have problems gelling together. But when you break down each category, they got everything covered. Shooting, you look at a guy like Giddy, passing, Barnes or Cunningham. Then you got the half court shot. It could be any one of these guys. Yeah, you know what? I can't bet against the Rooks. They're favorites for a reason. All three of these guys are arguably in the Rookie of the Year candidate race, and they're going to be going up against another guy in that race in Evan Mobley. So I got to go with Team Rooks. And I think Scotty Barnes is going to be especially ready to go for this one because he was stuck this morning in Toronto because of the weather. So he actually might miss tonight's festivities. And if that's the case, that's going to suck. So you better believe Scotty's going to make up for it in this spot. So yeah, I like Team Rooks. I think they get it done.
Yeah, we got to see Scotty and Precious in these matchups, but thankfully, Fred Van Vliet made it there on time, and he's a part of our next matchup, which is going to be the 3 point contest. We've got 8 participants here. You have Desmond Bain, Luke Kennard, Zach Levine, who's actually suiting up for this one despite being injured for the Bulls, CJ McCollum, Patty Mills, Carl Anthony Towns, our own Freddie, and Trey Young. I'm going to ask you, Luca, from all of them, who would you give the edge to go to the second round where you have three of them advancing?
Yeah, I look at this field and I think the favorites are clearly Fred Van Vliet and Trey Young. They are the betting favorites. They're both plus 400. But I look at a guy like CJ McCollum. He has really good odds. I think he's like plus 800. So if you're looking for a non-popular pick, CJ McCollum is a guy who I can see advancing to the next round and making a deep run to the final and ultimately even maybe winning this thing. So that's the name that pops out to me. But in terms of my actual winner, I gotta go with the hometown Fred VanVleet. I gotta go with the homer pick, I should say. I mean, Fred VanVleet, I think he's gonna steal the show here. I think the spotlight's gonna be on him and he's gonna thrive. So I'm going with Fred VanVleet. But if it's not Van Vliet, again, do not underestimate CJ McCollum. He's got great odds coming into this one. And another guy, too, he's got plus 1,000 odds. So if you do want to take a long shot and put some money on him, Carl Anthony Towns is another name to look out for. I know he's a big, I know when you look at this list, he is the least likely guy to win it, but he could get hot. So those are just some two wild card names to throw out, but I think it ultimately will be Young or Van Vliet. But personally, I'm going with Van Vliet.
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of surprised looking at Kat's name there. I was like, this is not a dunk contest. Why do we have Kat at the 3-point line? But it'll be interesting regardless, right? For me, I think I'm gonna go with Young, Levine, and Fred VanVleet. Sorry, Desmond Bain, Patty Mills, and Fred VanVleet as as the ones that go on to the next round, just because Freddie's averaging 40% from the three right now. You've got Desmond Bain and Patty Mills who are averaging 41%. Both of them don't really have to have a big impact on each of their respective teams currently, but they really are. They're killing it right now. But as you already mentioned, I'm going to have a homer pick as well. I'm going to go with Freddie here. And just because there's no one that really matches him in terms of when it comes to 3-pointers, unless it's Steph Curry. Literally nobody else does. He's the only one who's averaging less than Steph Curry when it comes to having 3-pointers per game. He's averaging about 4 triples per game, and his connection rate is 40%. He's one of the best volume catch and shoot launchers at 47.4%, and he makes the second most from 25 feet out at 12.8 shots per game. And he hits the most clutch threes out of anybody else. That's 17 on 46% shooting. And like I didn't think these numbers were anything until like you actually get to watch him and you see that happen and play down because he does have that 3-point gene and instinct that only a few of these guys are ever going to have in the NBA. So I think you're right. I think he's going to shine tonight. I think he's going to go home a rich man and he's going to bet on himself. Give me Freddie.
All right. Yeah, it should be a great contest. The 3-point contest usually is better than this next contest, which is the NBA Slam Dunk contest. And you look at these four participants, I don't want to knock them, but it seems very underwhelming. But who do you got winning this one?
You're right. It's not the Zach Levine and Gordon duo that we're used to, eh? And I think this the reason why this is kind of underwhelming too is because you don't really have that many guards in this one. Like, maybe this is weird thing to say, but usually for slam dunks, you see the guards and the smaller guys come out and have the bigger show. And that's why I think Obi and Anderson are not going to make it that far. I think it's going to come down to Cole Anthony and Jalen Green. And out of the two, I'm going to give it to Jalen Green. He's pretty much the light in the darkness that is the dingy basement of Houston and he does whatever he can any single night to get his team to whatever he needs to go. He's such a blast, like his bounce, his athleticism, whatever he brings to the table, you already see that he's going to be mounting to something great in the future. So I think this is going to be where he shines and where you get to really see his body at display. What about you?
Yeah, it's hard to bet against the favorites in these events. I gotta agree with you. I gotta go with Jalen Green. I actually have the same final. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. I originally did have Cole Anthony because I've seen him play this season and he has incredible bounce and he can
Mhm.
get up there. But I went back to Green because we've seen Green do it all season long. His athleticism, he does have the height advantage, and he can get up there. So I can only imagine Green is going to want to steal the show here, come up with some athletic dunks. I think it could be a potentially really good duel, though, between Anthony and Green if they do make it to the final. But I agree in terms of Toppin and Anderson, no disrespect to them, but I just don't see them doing something that we haven't seen before. Whereas Anthony and Green, I think those are two guys respectively that can do something that wows you. So I'm gonna go with that final, and I'm gonna go with Green getting the edge here, plus 130.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between actually having a dunk contest where you're just presenting or actually, doing dunks in between games, which is what those two other guys are better at. And now we have the final event of the night, which is the NBA All-Star game. You've got two teams, Team LeBron and Team Durant. Unfortunately, no captain for Team Durant tonight. This weekend, it's just gonna be his team. But Team LeBron has Curry, he's got Jokic, Giannis, CP3, Butler, Luca, DeRozan, our own Freddie, Mitchell, Garland, and Allen. Where Team Durant has Embiid, Morant, Tatum, Wiggins, Young, Ball, Booker, Gobert, Levine, and Middleton, as well as Moran Cat. And they have no Durant, unfortunately. Do you think these are lopsided, Luca, a little bit?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Team LeBron's gonna win this game. Just look at the starting five; it's
Yeah.
incredible. You're gonna have LeBron, Giannis, Curry, DeRozan, Jokic. It's crazy. Like this is gonna be, yeah, this should be like a big time win. And I don't know what the spread is. I think it's like 5.5 only. So I think Vegas is thinking it is gonna be a closer game. But we see. I mean, it's going to come down to if these teams even try, where the compete level is going to be at. And if that's the case, this could be a potentially fun game. But like you said, Durant's not even going to be there, suited up for his own team. I see this being a Team LeBron showdown and showcase. And sticking with that, I'll give you my All Star Game MVP as well.
Mhm.
LeBron James, I think he's going to win it. I mean, we usually see LeBron James steal the show in these instances. I can see him getting everybody involved. I can see him having a triple double. Yeah, I just hope the game's good. I hope the game's good, and it's fun when they do take it seriously because we saw last year in years past the first half they don't, and you're kind of just watching like a glorified pickup game of guys like who truly don't want to be out there. They're just doing it. But then in the fourth quarter, we do see that defense intensify. So I'm hoping it's close going into the fourth because then I can see both teams actually engaging, and then you can see best on best. But in the first half, it's going to be a highlight show just to give the fans something to enjoy. So that's where LeBron's going to shine and get everybody involved. So I got Team LeBron winning minus 250, and I got LeBron James winning MVP minus 215. These odds aren't very good at all because they're both the favorites.
Yeah, I think if they want to have a competitive game, go get Kyle Lowry. That's what you needed the last time, right? That's what he did. And he gave us a competitive game. And you're right. The All Star game is notorious and it's known for just being almost unwatchable sometimes just
Yeah.
because like it's not fun, right? You already know who's going to win, what's happening. These players do not look like they're there to actually compete. They just want to have the best passing and have the best little dunks that they can. No one's defending, no one's doing anything. But even just based off that, I think this is going to be the one for LeBron. He has the roster, he has the guys on his team. And also, he is the only one who really has to win something this year. This might be the only thing he wins this year, right? This and the MVP. So I think he's going to be activated a little bit more. He's going to be in his feelings from the Lakers, and he's just going to want to have one night where people respect him. So give me LeBron for both of them, too.
That's funny. Yeah, maybe this will be the only award he wins, right? So he will take this game seriously, especially to prove to the other guys, the youngsters especially, that he's still the best player in the league. You know, he's definitely going to want to showcase that. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with these picks, these events. I'm looking forward to it. I think this is the best all-star format in all of pro sports. I always look forward to this weekend. Not only is it family day on Monday, so you have the day off, but you have a great events leading up to that. So the Rising Stars too. I know we
Yeah.
didn't mention it here, but that's going to be a great showcase tonight as well. There's some other things going on with some celebs that I don't really care about. And then Saturday and Sundays where the real magic happens, where these picks will be on full display. So we'll see how Noor and I do. And then we'll be back at it again on Tuesday with some NCAA men's basketball picks. That's going to be exciting, especially with March Madness around the corner. And then
Mhm.
we'll be back with our normal NBA picks on Thursday. But again, this is Luca and Noor of 3 Point Lines here on the Parlay. You can follow us all over social media. Have yourselves a great weekend, and we'll catch you all again next week.